Alright guys, I wanted to make a video about the Charlie Kirk event that happened yesterday. So, for a while now, there's been many people who have been labeled far right, and with that, it's the same to say that these people are Nazis or white supremacists, and often these people do get called Nazis and white supremacists. Charlie Kirk was one of them. And so I want to make a statement about all of this because right now there's an issue going on in the world that has been a long going issue for a long time now. And the issue is a term, it's an obscure definition, but it's something called politicide, which is basically the killing or the persecution or the incrimination of people based off of political affiliation or suspected political affiliation. So it doesn't matter what a person's crimes may be, if they've even done any crimes. The crime is being accused of being a member of a political party or something like that. And in this case, I think this is relevant to Charlie Kirk and his and this murder, whatever you want to call it. And right now, um, this 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 event is not it's not the result of a fringe sort of mindset or like a fringe maybe person with mental health issues or anything like that. I think it is a product of a broader sentiment that a lot of people are share, or a lot of sort of we shouldn't be so naive to think that this is something that is just a one-off thing. This is when you go to these online forums, Reddit, um, all these different places, even on Facebook and Twitter and Blue Sky, these different avenues, you're going to find communities of people, and usually they're dominated by similar sentiments where there's people celebrating what happened. There's people who are glorifying it. There's people that are um, they I guess they celebrate it. I don't know really how to say it, but there's plenty of evidence out there. I don't need to really show any of it here. You can just find it yourself, and a lot of us have probably already seen it. But um, this isn't an obscure thing. There's a lot of people, like mainstream media, news outlets. They were capitalizing on this event to 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 cash in on the same narratives we hear all the time. Far right influencer activist, um, Charlie Kirk, um, Trump, um, associating him with Trump, or like, and he may he may have had some affiliation with Trump and stuff like that, but like, and he self-identified himself as right wing and all this, but people take it further than what it is, and that I think that's a issue here where um, the politicide where um, people the line between good and evil and right and wrong, I don't think is a political line. I don't think that I don't think that uh, all good people are one political party and all bad people are the other or anything like that. I think we need to not play into and participate in with a lot of the identity labels of group politics of politics. Um, so what I mean by that is people will identify with unevolving, unchanging labels, and they believe that it just makes someone who they are for their entire life or something like that. That's not the case. People can change. People change their labels all the time. People change their beliefs. Some people have their beliefs swayed, and I believe that we should keep our hands open and not hold on to these labels. We should keep try try and expand our minds and present allow ourselves to be presented with information to change our minds. So a good example of this would be like a court case. So um, you want to allow all evidence to be presented. You want to allow as much evidence as possible. You want to allow for your convictions to be able to be changed. And so you might go into it with one belief, oh, this person is guilty, and then by the end of it you might find out that the other person was guilty or something like that, or like we have to allow ourselves to have our beliefs change. We have to not just go in with convictions and say we are right and that it can't change, or eh, when we expose ourselves to further evidence, powerful testimonies, and so on, we we are able to, you know, lessen our convictions. We're able to see things for more of what they are potentially, and so we are able to. It can be a therapeutic process even, and so um, we can lessen our convictions, and we can even we can save people from undue punishment. And so I think right now an issue is, like I said, politicized, where it's not there is no due process. It's unchecked convictions. There are people that uh it, it if virtue was as easy as executing criminals, or just just attacking anyone that is not um, within your own group, or trying to create the perfect bubble of just great people, you know, and just eliminating everyone else. I think that we would see, if virtue was that easy, if utopia was that easy, that we could only usher in utopia through violence, then I think we would see a lot more people doing doing stuff like this, but we don't. And because I don't think virtue is that easy, and if anything, it's probably the opposite. It might not be, but like um, I think that refraining from violence, refraining from um, painting people as targets with this politicized thing, when we call people certain things, even if if I call someone Nazi or communist, it's like I really try and refrain and not do that. It For me, I just struggled to tackle the ideas of communism or Nazism and the history of it and stuff. I really try not to play into a lot of that back and forth stuff where people are calling each other Nazis or whatever. And so I just want to say that because right now we're we're in an epoch of history where um, things can age very poorly. So like when these news articles came out immediately and people were laughing publicly and like making jokes publicly immediately, a lot of that very quickly uh, the tone of it changed very quickly once everyone started speaking out and through because the honesty was raw through a lot of people, a lot of us, and a lot of people couldn't help. A lot of people spoke out and expressed themselves, and I did not expect that. I thought this was going to be a very. I thought this was going to be pushed under the rug, like many things are. You know, day to day we see people getting called Nazis. Day to day we see a lot of this activity in these online spaces. We see it in our own lives and people around us maybe and so and it's like seeing everyone speak up about this and the genuine honesty is like it's very I think um I think it's just a good thing, you know, because like I said, you know, we live in a historical epoch. So some people might within a tight knit posse be able to, you know, feel self assured, you know, with their camaraderie of like when people went to go lynch other people, you know during times of slavery or not long after, you know, and that all that wasn't that long ago, you know, um, when people used to burn witches and all that, and people might feel justified, they might feel righteous in a vacuum in a moment or just a few moments, you know, they feel like they're, you know, they're doing this thing, but uh, given more time, given a broader greater population, we're able to outweigh stuff like that, and we no longer see that as a allowable publicly allowable thing, like to go out and just lynch people, or that's not like, you know, um, we have learned from that, you know, and I think we're in a similar time where a lot of the behaviors people are doing right now, they're not going to be relevant in the future. They're and basically, so like we're going to look at like we have to be open to change, um, genuine change, honest change, and so we have to, um, you know, we can't hold on to our convictions too strongly. We can't. We don't want to go down with a burning ship. We don't want to. We don't want to be like. There's there's always going to be people that um, they're going to be harder to change than others, and you know, and they'll take that with them into the afterlife. But you know, a lot of us, we have this opportunity. We have this opportunity to lessen our convictions. We have this opportunity to be persuaded by the evidence, and we have to open our minds to the evidence, and we have to not close ourselves off to the evidence and stay on a falsely righteous path by denying ourselves that evidence. And so we have to keep an open mind, and um, you know, we're in a very, I think this Charlie Kirk thing, that was pretty much the bulk of what I wanted to say. Now this is just getting into speculation, but I think the Charlie Kirk thing, I think it's a tipping point. I think that I think the political I think the political sort of vigilante justice thing, I think it's just beginning, and I think we're going to see. I don't know, I could be wrong about that. But I think people romanticize war and stuff like that. I think people want war, you know. I think people um I don't know what will happen, but I think that there's when you go and look in these sort of online communities of where you get to see people's sort of closeted beliefs, sort of um, I, where um, or private beliefs. That's probably a better way of saying it. But like you see how people really are, you know, and so it's like you see how people are are what people are saying, and um, you know, like the jokes, the all this stuff. Um, you know, it's real. It's we are. This is this is this is like a local thing. You know what I mean? Like this is in your county. This is in your state. This is, you know, this is um you know, this is maybe within your household. Maybe this is within yourself. You know, this is like, yeah. And so um you know, I don't think we should shame people, or I don't want to guiltify people for participating in a lot of the memes and stuff like that, or or for the people that have, you know, gone out there convicting people of being Nazis and stuff like that. I don't want to wage war on them or anything like that. I don't want I don't want to guiltify them. I don't I don't want to make them feel like they're backed into a corner. I don't want to um I don't want them to feel like they're being persecuted. I don't want them to double down. You know, I want them to hopefully, I mean, keep a open mind and just sort of like if anything, I I guess I would like those people to change, honestly. Like that's just how I feel, because I know that if they don't, I know that when people really cement their feet down in concrete, cement their own feet down, that, you know, I know what comes of it, and it's to a degree. And I just think that we shouldn't cement ourselves down, and we need to be able um, to not just stick to any regime, you know, to just sort of like, um, yeah, um, to be willing to receive better ideas, basically, and to be conveyed to and I believe that should be able to change us, and I think it would de-radicalize a lot of us, and yeah, and so I guess I'll leave it at that. This video was a bit longer than what I wanted it to be, but I think I was able to express pretty much what I wanted to. So thank you guys for watching. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I You know, I've known about his YouTube. I've known about his YouTube, uh, about his videos, his debates for a while now, for years, and I've always seen him as sort of a public figure kind of person, and like I never really, you know, sat down and engaged with his content other than short form videos, but like I you know, I never thought that would have something like that would have happened. It was genuinely something I never I didn't even think that would happen, honestly. I didn't even like it never crossed my mind that people would even do such a thing to someone like that. But I mean, um, yeah. All right, so all right. Take care, everybody.